What's up, everyone? My name is Jonathan, host here at the Venue RX. We're gonna spend the next couple minutes talking about the different management models that you can have on your property. So even if you are an owner operator and you're thinking, maybe venue management, I don't need my venue managed because I am managing it myself, it's worth thinking about the different options that you have, because when you're considering venue management, whether you manage it or someone else manages it for you, it's important to understand your strategy around the ownership of the venue. And you could be using this as a possibility of retirement income, as a way to invest your money. And as a business owner, if you are truly owning the business, there's that whole catchphrase, are you working on your business or in your business? As owner operators, so often we are working in our business, and it seems difficult, if not impossible, to actually get out and work on our business, or maybe even not be actively involved. The first, and I think a most straightforward management model, is owner operator. These are folks who buy their venue, or maybe they buy a plot of land, they build a venue, or maybe they even have some land or family property. They've done some weddings before, and a couple of people ask them, like, gosh, you've got a beautiful property, can I get married on it? And those folks say, hey, great, let's start doing weddings. That's a great place to start, a great place to be, especially if you're excited about the wedding venue industry itself. And at this stage, you're doing everything. You're doing the sales, you're doing the marketing. Should you use a wedding listing platform, a wedding directory, one of those paid ones, all of the different things that it takes to market the venue. An owner operator also needs to consider if the venue is going to be blank canvas or if they're going to be more all-inclusive. Generally, an all-inclusive model happens when you go out and you work with different vendors, whether it's a catering company, a DJ, a planner, whoever the different services are that are needed in your area. And this makes more of a package for the couples, which is definitely convenient for them, because then they get in and, they don't have to think about anything. They just kind of per head, what are we spending? Or are we doing blank canvas, which is where basically open up the venue, maybe you offer some tables, some chairs, maybe some decorations. All of those things are on the couple. So when you are an owner operator, you are doing everything. And usually how I see people scaling this is they start doing everything themselves, maybe with the help of some friends or family, and then they start slowly adding people on until they're a couple of years down the road and they do have a team that they can count on. And maybe they're not as involved in the day-to-day aspects, but the key point here is they are still the owner operator. They are still sitting in either the seats or the management of those different seats, and they haven't really gotten to the next layer. So that's that first management model. Now let's go to the next model, which is bringing in either a catering company, maybe a coordinator, maybe even a DJ service, and having them manage the property. Now, this could be appealing if you maybe purchase the property, you do the weddings and events for a couple of years, and you realize, gosh, I've got a lot of things going on personally. I can't really be involved in the day-to-day aspects of this. You're looking for a way to solve some pain point that you have on your property. And so a lot of times people develop relationships with vendors who have served their venue in the past. And this is awesome because a lot of times those vendors that come to those property owners have experience at the property already. They already, know some of the ways that the property operates. And typically this can be set up one of two ways. The coordinator or planner, catering company, etc., can come in and do just the sales and marketing side of things, or they can come in and help more with the operations, or they can do both. But a lot of times it's some sort of profit share, or it's some sort of value add to both the property owner, because they get their property taken care of as far as the sales, the marketing, doing all the things that you need to do to make sure your venue is successful. And on the vendor side, they get the benefit of having kind of built-in revenue, because usually couples are coming to the venue first and they're saying, hey, I want to get married. What dates do you have available? And they're focused on price, they're focused on date. And then after that, everyone else fills in the gaps. Everyone else, okay, now I've got my date, now I've got my venue, I can go hire my caterer, I can go hire my planner, I can go hire these other different important pieces. If you're a catering company and you're managing and selling this venue, you've got this natural opportunity to build in your services. And a lot of times, catering companies or planning services will make their services mandatory. So it becomes more of an all-inclusive model where you're actually renting the venue. And when you rent the venue, you're also renting the food and beverage side, or you're having them do the planning, or whatever the case may be. You've got to be really, really careful who you're bringing on. I think it goes without saying, the reputation that you have in the industry is going to be really married and really connected with that vendor who you're bringing on. The third model is just complete outsourced venue management. But, it's one of the management models that's nearest and dearest to my heart, because, we operate Common Sense Events, the shirt that I'm wearing right now. We go out and we find properties that are maybe owner operated. Maybe someone has operated their property for a while and they're looking to retire. We do everything. We do the marketing, we do the sales, we do the operations, everything that it takes to run a very successful wedding venue. And, it's interesting because when you hire a company to do the full management of it, I think one of the biggest benefits that you get is you get access to a team, and you get access to data and kind of best practices across the entire industry. And, like a company like ours, since we manage multiple venues, we get all of the information that we're getting from multiple venues. And that allows us to consistently be iterating and getting better and better and better at a much faster rate than we could if we were just managing one property. And, I think when you're owner operated, you're very myopic almost, right? Like you're just looking at your property and then you're getting information from whatever is happening in the industry, from local networking groups, maybe conferences or things like that you're attending. Maybe it's even, you've picked the brains of other venue owners around you, but you really don't have access to that data. This allows a lot of business to be driven pretty quickly. You can basically just get up and running pretty fast, and depending on how long it takes the management company to get involved, it could take anywhere from 60 to 90 days to get them in place. And then they're doing all your hiring, they're doing all your marketing, all your sales, all your day of operations, everything that it takes to actually run a great wedding venue and get great reviews. And I think that's huge, because what it does for you as the owner, it takes you out of the seat of actually needing to make all the decisions and needing to be on the ground every single day. And it allows you to kind of step back a little bit and make more strategic and tactical decisions about your property. And especially if the management company is doing a good job, you're able to look at the cash flow and say, okay, great. How soon is this investment going to pay itself back? And what things we can tweak, what things can we add, and maybe even what other properties can we buy? What other ways can we expand? One of the advantages also, I would say, with working with a management company is they already have figured out in the specific area that you are what type of marketing works best. Where should you be spending your ad dollars? This is helpful because so often you need to kind of spend the first year doing the Facebook ads, doing the Google ads, being on the wedding directory listings. You need to be on these different places and you need to be examining the ROI. Like, what are you getting back from this? And oftentimes that's hard. To really dive down into those details, especially with the CRM systems that are available out there. They may not give you all the data that you need, and you might have a hard time understanding, is it lead performance? Is it that the leads aren't that good? Or is it your team? Or maybe you are not following up fast enough, or whatever the case may be. Now with this, there are a number of different styles of management, and there are different ways to set it up. One is a profit sharing model where you go in and essentially you're just paying them for the business that they're bringing to you. And I think this is the most fair model, and it's the one that we use, because essentially what you're doing, you're not paying them no matter what, right? You're paying the management company for bringing the venue value and bringing you value as the owner. And so when a wedding is booked, everyone wins. It's not just one way or the other. And now venue management companies may also have management fees associated with this, just like you might have an apartment building. There's going to be a management fee and then some sort of percent of rents that are brought in, or first month's rent, or whatever it happens to be. So anyway, if you like this, consider subscribing. A lot of times this industry doesn't really share information as well as other industries, and so consider sharing it with a friend, and I will see you all in the next episode.